Everybody, we have some good news. Biden and members of Congress are now working on the final pieces of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. And that means the popular monthly child tax credit will likely take a hit. But it won't be going away yet. If Biden can sign it into law, what are your thoughts on Joe Biden, everybody? Tell me in the comments down below. Do you believe that he is doing a good job in helping out the American people with his fourth stimulus payments? Now, President Biden wanted to extend that program for another 3 years in order to reduce poverty. However, due to some opposition from his own political party, the White House has agreed to cut it back from 3 years to just 1 more year for now. Now, this hope is to gain support for the bill, while also keeping the overall price of it down. The White House is proposing a 1-year extension to reduce the initial $450 billion price tag. And this latest Build Back Better plan would extend the $3,000 and $3,600 child tax credit for another year. The White House says the $250 and $300 monthly payments would go out monthly in 2022 with eligibility requirements. And that's the same as the 2021 expanded child tax credit. So some lawmakers in Washington, D.C. also want to make changes to the tax credit. And that's particularly Joe Manchin. He would like to see a work requirement added to the payments, with only families making $60,000 or less getting help. If that is adopted, approximately 37 million children across the country will miss out on this very important stimulus money. Let's not forget that currently most Americans receive some money from the child tax credit. The full benefit goes to married couples with up to $150,000 in AGI, and single-parent families with up to $112,500. There is also no work requirement. What are your thoughts on the fourth stimulus bill? Do you believe it is necessary, folks? Tell me in the comments down below. Will President Biden send out the fourth stimulus check in time? I want to know your thoughts on this. Now, if you have recently received a check from the IRS, the first thing you need to know is that this is not a fourth stimulus payment from the federal government. It is actually a plus-up check. The additional payment is the money still owed to you from the third stimulus check. The IRS tied the stimulus payment to a taxpayer's AGI on their tax returns. Therefore, an additional payment is simply money owed to an individual if he or she did not get the correct amount in the last stimulus payment. There are also other scenarios in which you could receive additional funds from the IRS. For example, if you got married in 2020 and filed your 2020 taxes this year, there may be a chance you could receive an additional stimulus check or deposit. If you filed a 2020 tax extension, your return must be processed by August 16th to receive an additional payment. And finally, taxpayers who do not receive an additional payment or third stimulus check or due one can claim money as a recovery refund credit in 2022 when they file a 2021 tax return. And there are also many economists and advocacy groups that have been urging Congress to send out another round of stimulus payments. One senior advocacy organization, the Senior Citizens League, has made it clear to the nation's leaders that the 5.9% COLA will take effect in January 22 is not enough. And a Social Security analysis stated that over the past 21 years, COLAs have raised benefits by 55%, while housing costs rose nearly 118%. The fact that benefits have not kept up with the actual increase in costs has put many beneficiaries in an extremely vulnerable position. And this is why a $1,400 stimulus check is necessary. President Biden has to get the job done. He must send out the fourth stimulus check in time. And if you guys agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
Madam Speaker, today is a great day of pride for our country and for Democrats. We have a president with a big, bold vision for our country, an unprecedented opportunity to keep our promises for the people. We promised for the people that we would lower health care costs by lowering the cost of prescription drugs. We would increase paychecks by building the infrastructure of America, and we would have cleaner government by passing legislation for the vote. This rule does all three of those things and much more, enabling the Congress to vote on some of that legislation today, some of it in the bill, and some of it for later. When the president spoke about the infrastructure bill, which is provided for in this rule, he said to our Republican friends, I want to find our common ground on infrastructure, but I will not confine my vision to what is in the bill that we can do in a bipartisan way, unless you want to help us build back better. I like to say build back better for women, because that is what this budget will do. That is in this rule. So I salute the president, not only for his vision and his determination to get the job done, but for the priorities that will be contained here in this budget as we go forward. The Build Back budget agenda is one that is liberating for families, not just women, moms and dads, with child care, with a child tax credit, with universal pre-K, with home health care, with workforce development, so that not only are we building the physical infrastructure of America, we are building the human infrastructure of America to enable many more people to participate in the success of our economy and the growth of our society. It does so with equity, 40% justice provision that will be in there. Now, it remains for us to work together, work with the Senate to write a bill that preserves the privilege of 51 votes in the Senate. So we must work together to do that in a way that passes the House and passes the Senate, and we must do so expeditiously. I don't remember a time as historic as this. Not those at the high end who benefited from the Republican tax bill, and I wouldn't have been brought it up, except you're acting as if you don't even know when you added $2 trillion or more to the budget to give 83% of the benefits to the wealthiest people in our country. Leverage for the rich? No. We don't begrudge them their success. And guess what? It would be our attempt to pay for this bill so it is not a burden to those children as we go forward. And that means that some of the people that benefited from that tax bill, that tax scam in 2017, are now going to have to pay their fair share, pay their fair share, and that we may have to address other ways to pay for the legislation by putting the responsibility on the high end, both whether it's corporate or individual.
Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, the New York Republican, sits on the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee. Congressman, what do you think of where this is all going right now? Neither side, progressives or moderates of the Democratic Party, appear to have gotten what they wanted right off the bat, but I would have to think that the progressives are feeling a little more cocky than are the moderates. So where are Republicans in this?
Well, I think this demonstrates, the failure to bring this bill to the floor demonstrates that Nancy Pelosi and President Biden have kowtowed to the socialist wing of the party. And I think that's the reason why you're seeing so many things fail in this country right now, whether it be, the economic issues